Hello everyone, so today I am here to do a video that, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't plan it out at all, so this might be a complete, stupid video, but honestly the last time I said that, it's got so many views and people loved it, my annotation video, where I sat down and annotated with you guys live. Yeah, today it's another annotation video, but today we're gonna be discussing, do annotations actually help? Do they actually help you with books and reading? Are annotations worth it, basically? So, I'm gonna talk you through my thought process on this. I annotate a lot of books. I annotate a lot of books for class. I annotate a lot of books for myself. Obviously, I have tons of videos on annotation if you want to go and check it out. I annotate a lot, but I also, I must just throw it out there because, people are always baffled at how well I remember books. I do have photographic memory or eidetic memory, so I do remember the majority of the books that I read, even though I read hundreds of books a year. But I want to know if annotations truly help. Do they actually help you remember specific things about the books? Do they help you actually remember conversations about the book, or things that you were doing in class or whatever? Are annotations worth it? Are they worth the extra time that you spend highlighting or writing in the book? Are they worth it? Basically, is what we're going to be doing today. So I have a bunch of books on my shelf that have all different types of annotations. I have a couple of academic annotations. I have a couple of just literally highlight and put a tab in. I have a couple that are super annotated for me. We're just going to look at a couple of them and kind of work through, do annotations truly help? Okay, I literally just picked these books at random. We're going to look at these 4 books because I feel like they're good. We obviously have Imaginary Friend, which I annotated last October. It's insane. Was it worth to do this? That's going to be an answer. We're going to get the answer to that today. Then we have Mysteries of Udolpho, which I read for class, for school. Sat down, read it, and then we looked at it during class. And then we have Peter Pan, which I obviously used for my thesis, which I did not read this necessarily for class. I did not have a professor who was helping me read this or annotate it, but I did read it for my thesis, so it was academic. And then we have The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin, which just was one of my favorite books, so I reread it and annotated it, but this doesn't have any writing. It's just underlining, highlighting kind of thing. So yeah, let's do it. Let's just get on into it. I feel like the easiest one to start off with is Peter Pan. Again, this is a book that I annotated for my thesis. So obviously I've worked with this book so closely. So obviously I remember a lot of it, but I just wonder if, again, my annotations actually helped me. So at the beginning of this book, I do have a key for each of the colors and what they mean. I'm not gonna lie, looking at this key, it's not necessarily things that I actually looked at in my thesis, because I read this, I reread this book for the first, for my thesis. Technically, before my thesis even started, I did an independent study with a professor where I reread all of the Peter Pan things that I needed to read for my thesis. So I technically read this before I knew what my thesis was going to be. So looking at my tab colors, they really they wouldn't have helped my thesis, is basically what I'm saying. So I'm currently just going through and looking at each of, sorry, I feel like I should explain. On a lot of books, rather than writing in the margins or anything, I write on sticky notes and just stick them into the book. So I'm kind of going through and reading over the ones that I currently have written in here. So it looks like Past Kate was kind of focusing a lot on the differences between the novel, the play, and Little White Bird, which is an interesting thing. I wrote an essay about that, so it makes sense. Also, then these random big things sticking out are things that I used in my thesis, which is interesting because I don't think any of these have actual tabs on the page that I used. So that's interesting. Okay, I have a definition for a word, but overall, I feel like these are a lot of things that I already very specifically remember, kind of, I guess. Yeah, a lot of these things are kind of things that, like, things that I'm commenting on are things I already, like, I know. Like, I don't think I would have to have gone back into the book to look at my annotations to remember. But I guess the question is, do I remember them because I, like, took the time to actually sit down and write them out? Or is it because I've just worked with this book so much? I guess a couple of these are really helpful because I specifically connect them and, like, say the page number that I'm connecting them to, so that's kind of helpful to be able to look back on. I guess obviously I don't have every page memorized. Yeah, that's, see, this one is, maybe I shouldn't do this one because this is a book that I know so well, and again, at almost every single sticky note, I specifically do remember actually writing all of these, but I also, it's definitely information that is very solidified in my brain. So with this book in particular, I guess I would say the annotations are probably helpful, especially because I use it so often, but it's also like, I think I just have this book memorized so well that I don't like necessarily need the annotations anymore. Like, I just kind of need to remember where things happen in the book and then I can find them. Like, the actual tabs do not help me at all. I already have forgotten what the colors mean. See, that's the thing that I always try to do, is I do try to color coordinate my tabs to be able to go to specific themes, but also I forget what the colors mean, so. Let's look at a different one. Let's look at the book that I read for class. I read this for my Victorian literature class. And I'm just gonna kind of flip through, look at my annotations, look at where the tabs are. Do I have a key for this? Oh, I do. I also have a key for this one. So that's helpful. I didn't realize Past Kate had done that. I kind of thought they were random. But that's good to know, actually. So also, I'm realizing this one doesn't have any writing in it. It is solely underlined. See, I don't remember what are in certain books. But I do know, just knowing myself, that the top tabs are the important ones, and the side tabs are just kind of like, as I'm reading it, I remember them. The top ones are the ones that I usually get from class and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I barely remember this book. Like, do I remember this book? Yes. Can I tell you exactly what happens in it? Yes. Do I remember details? Not really. Like, do I remember specific quotes or, like, things that we discussed within this book? Not really. Could I tell you exactly what happens in the plot? Sure. But I don't think these annotations are super helping me. I guess just looking at, like, the colored tabs, it does kind of help me remember certain, again, themes that are in the book. Because I have a tab for spooky or terror, and then I have fairies and supernatural. I completely forgot that there's, like, kind of a fairy element to this book. Romance, nature descriptions, and quotes. So, like, yeah, I guess I totally forgot that there's, like, a lot of fairy imagery in this book. Oh, that is interesting. See, this is why I kind of wanted to look at the books on camera with you guys, because even I'm realizing. I was just about to be like, nah, these annotations aren't helpful, but now I'm like, oh my god, I did forget that. I did forget that there's fairy imagery in this book. That's so interesting. Yeah, I completely forgot that detail of this book. Huh, okay. Look at that, the annotations did help. Yeah, I guess... Yeah, I mean, yeah, these did help, because I completely forgot about that. I don't know what else to say. I completely forgot about that within this book. Yeah, they help, I guess. I also definitely would say that if I was ever going to go back to this book and, like, use it in a academic sense, I would definitely have to reread it, but I do think that maybe the tabs would help. Like, if I needed to just write something really quick or, like, come up with an exact quote of something, yeah, if someone was like, oh, when does this, like, musical or fairy thing happen, I can just go and look for each of the pink tabs. Or, like, when does the spooky and horror things happen, I specifically know that those are the top blue ones, because those are the most important parts of the book. So I guess they do help in this one. That's interesting. I honestly was thinking of coming out of this video, I would come out of this video saying, no, they're not helpful. So this is interesting. Let's look at The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin. This is one I know that I do not, I did not write in. It's mostly just like underlining. So I also don't know what the colors mean. I don't think there's a key. There's not a key. So it's orange and like these light pink tabs. Do I remember what they mean? No. I'm gonna kind of look at the different colors and try to figure what they mean. Okay, yeah, that was easy to figure it out. Okay, so the pink were just quotes, and the orange were things that have to do with the actual, like, magical realism. I know this book was advertised as magical realism. It's not. It has to do with the Immortalist and the prophecy that the kids are given. So that makes sense. Do these annotations help, though? Let's see. Oh, okay, Pass Kate. I see you. I see you. Okay. What? Okay. Ooh, okay. Oh, these actually are helpful. Oh, no. I think we're figuring out that they're helpful. Oh, gosh. This is definitely a book that I, again, do know very well because it is one of my favorite books, like, ever. But do I remember these very specific quotes? No. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, this is helpful. These are helpful. Yeah, like if I was to like sit down and like have to write an essay or something about this book, I do think this is helpful. The top ones are everything that is super important to the story and to the prophecy. Lots of really, really good quotes every single time someone died and all of that. And then these are mostly just quotes, but it also is a lot of the plot. Yeah, no, if I was writing, like, I'm kind of thinking of it as, if I was writing an essay, could I come back to this book and actually use it and use my first time reading through it, my notes from it? And I probably could. I also know myself very well, and, like, I know why I annotated stuff. Like, I know some people are, like, might, like, look at something that they highlighted and be like, why did I even highlight that? But I know myself well enough to know what I was, like, thinking when I highlighted something. So, dang, okay, this also, I would say is helpful. See, this is interesting to me, too. So, now we have the big one. Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. I'll give you guys the flip through. Yeah. This one is obviously my most annotated thing that I have on my shelf. I think this is even more annotated than my Windbird Chronicle. This obviously has a key. I did recently read this, but I'm not gonna lie, this book is so complex. Yeah, this has a key. Even the different highlight colors within the text have a meaning. Oh gosh, let's flip through it. God, I don't... Let's see. So yeah, there's like different colored highlights depending on the character. So that's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna read over a couple of my things. I think a lot of it was, oh my god, it wasn't. I was gonna say a lot of it was trying to like connect things because this was obviously a reread. So I was trying to like connect it to what I knew was coming. Oh my god, I forgot. I even have Haley's annotations in here. Oh wow, I went so hard with this. Oh my god, I even have Peter Pan references in this. I always do that, I'm not gonna lie. This is just a me thing, but if there's any sort of Peter Pan reference in a book, I highlight it and mark it down as a Peter Pan reference. So even if it's not really a Peter Pan reference, I still mark it if it reminds me of Peter Pan, so. Oh my god, look at me. Even, Pasky was literally even, like, analyzing the use of space on a page. God. Oh my god, we even have social commentary. Okay. Dude, yeah, I mean, this book is so extreme with the annotations, but I do think it's helpful. Oh gosh. This was honestly the one that I was gonna be like, oh, I don't think these are actually that helpful, because I don't remember what I wrote, obviously, like, there's so much to it. Oh my god, I even referenced Stephen King. Social commentary, oh my god. I think Passkate did pretty well with her annotations in this. Oh my gosh, I'm like even analyzing things as I'm going. Wow. I think the problem with this one would be the fact that I don't know where everything is. Like if I was going to use this in an essay, I don't think I could find what I was looking for. It's almost too annotated. Does that make sense? Like if I was like, oh, I need to find what I was thinking about when like Christopher like went with the cloud at the very beginning. Like I don't know where that is in here. There's so many annotations. It would take me a lot of guessing and a lot of trying to figure out what was going on like in each page to figure out where I even was in the story, let alone trying to find my annotation for that specific thing. I definitely think this is one of those books that the annotations do help. Just sitting here flipping through them, I'm remembering exactly what was happening in the story just based on my annotations. And I remember exactly what I was thinking and all of the foreshadowing and everything and all of my analysis and everything and discussions I was having, but I don't know if these are that helpful because there's so many of them. Oh god, I don't know. I feel like it is helpful, but it's also not. It's almost like too helpful. Does that make sense? Like you went too helpful. And it's to the point where it's not helpful anymore. But I don't think a lot of people annotate like this, so I don't know. Yeah, no, I think it's helpful. I even was fucking keeping track of the letters. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, no. This was helpful. Oh my gosh, are we learning? Oh my god, I honestly thought I was gonna come out of this being like, annotations are stupid. Who cares? They're helpful. I do enjoy annotating, so even if they weren't helpful, so I would keep doing it, but these all seem pretty helpful. I'm gonna do one more. This is a book that I like actually learned from, like a textbook. So like, were my annotations helpful in this kind of setting? Like also this was years ago that I read this for class. So this does not have any sort of key to it. And I'm not gonna lie, like just initial flip through, I don't remember exactly what this kind of stuff was. I don't remember, obviously the tabs are all the same color, so that doesn't really help, so I don't really know what part is what. I do have kind of a key that I use on the side that I remember doing of like, these are like new things, have the arrow, then obviously important has a star, things I don't like or like just are wrong with our society have an X, and then things that I am like, I really like had a heart. I do think that these are, like the general idea of this book has definitely stuck in my brain for all of these years, but do I remember the exact conversations within this book? No. Do I find the annotations helpful? Kind of. I think this would be a book that I would definitely have to sit down and actually pay attention and reread, but I would have to like sit down and reread each annotation and each page to understand what I was trying to figure out and like what I was talking about. But maybe I won't have to reread the whole book because I have such like aggressive annotations. I do remember I didn't even have to actually write an essay on this, so I really did just like annotate it for class. Oh, I mean, yeah, a lot of this, it has become almost common knowledge to me, but is it because I read this book or is it because we talk about this more in society? I don't know. I think this is the first one that I truly am like, I don't know. I don't know if this is that helpful. Again, maybe if I sat down and reread every single page that has annotations, which is the majority of the book, it would help me. and I wouldn't have to read the entire book, just like most of it. But yeah, I'm not sure. This one's interesting to me because, yeah, again, I do feel like I know a lot of this, and I don't know if it's because I read this book or if it's because we just kind of talk about that now. Like, this topic, it's about women and sexuality and stuff. So, I don't know. This one's the first one that I'm like, I don't know about that. So what is the takeaway from this video? I do think annotations are helpful. I do think they are helpful in the sense that, like, if you are an academic, obviously annotations are going to be super helpful, because if you ever have to use that book in an essay or research or anything, or quote it for some reason in a class or anything like that, they are very helpful. But, like, do I think that this is helpful for, like, just a normal reader? I don't really think so. Like, why would you ever, like, be going back into a book just to find a specific quote or passage or to analyze it? I think that would be helpful if you only had, like, a couple of tabs in a book. Kind of like, I don't know, like this book, Loveless. I only have, like, a handful of tabs, so those specifically are, like, my favorite parts of the book that I would pull out and be like, oh, hey, look at this quote, look at this scene. If I was talking to someone about this book, I think that would be helpful. But this kind of thing, I don't think is that helpful to academics. And I know a lot of people do, like, annotate like this, like, have different colors for different things, and, like, write in the book and everything. I don't know if they would be helpful just for the average reader. Because, again, how often are you going to return to them? All of these books I have read and annotated and took the time to do, and almost none of them have I actually gone back and looked at the annotations. Besides Peter Pan, I would say. That is the only one that I constantly had to pick up and flip through, and that was because I was working on a project. So do I think annotations are worth it? I don't really know. I don't know if they are worth it for, like, just casual reading. Like, if you're just reading a book for fun, I don't really see the point of annotating unless you are thinking of, like, really, really analyzing it or using it in an essay or something. For an academic, obviously annotations kind of have to happen, but yeah, this was an interesting one because I am, like, all of these books, these annotations are very, very helpful, and I can see myself actually going back and using them, but also I don't think they're, like, worth it. Does that make sense? This is such an interesting topic. I'm glad I made this video because I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say, because obviously I'm very biased. I am a scholar. Like, I am in academics. I have my master's. I have done my master's, and I'm going to do my PhD. So, like, to me, obviously these are like, oh yeah, of course these are worth it because I might have to use this book eventually. Like, there are so many books that I have that I had to return to multiple times, like, from my undergrad to my master's degree. So having the annotations already there are very helpful. But again, I don't know if they're, like, they make sense for other people to use. Like, especially if, like, I handed these books to someone, I don't think they would be helpful, you know what I mean? But I also do love annotating. I love annotating. I love making a book mine. I love, like, kind of thinking through my thoughts while I'm reading it. So yeah, this was an interesting video. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about this. Do you annotate? Do you think annotations are helpful? What do you think about what I was kind of going through and what I was thinking? Do you ever go back and look at your annotations? Because that's the biggest thing I keep thinking of is, all of these books have sat annotated on my shelves, and have I ever flipped through them and looked at the annotations? No. So yeah, I'd be really curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of weird video. Yeah, I don't know. I hope you guys all enjoyed. But yeah, anyways, I love y'all, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye!